What's up, everyone? I am the Kaiju no Kami, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Mill Creek's recent Blu-ray release of Ultraman X. It's pretty much what you expect if you already have the Orb and Jeed, slipcase, case, there's disc trays in here, 5 discs for the series, 1 disc for the movie, a booklet. Booklet shows off the different Ultramen in the show, the various forms for X, the monsters that appear, although not all of them, and then episode descriptions. So, like I said, if you have Jeed and Orb, you pretty much know what to expect with this one. Thanks to the success of Ginga and Ginga S, Ultraman returned to full form in the summer of 2015 with a brand new 24-episode series known as Ultraman X. Like the Ginga seasons, X continued to use the monster-based Spark Dolls for its main toy attraction, while also implementing a card-based system that would allow our lead heroes to access weapons and abilities from previous Ultramen and monsters. The main concept behind this gimmick was that 15 years prior to the show's start, an Ultraman named X fought against an evil monster deemed Griza who wanted to destroy the world. He sent Griza into the sun, which caused the sun's flares to turn the Spark Dolls into full-size monsters, leading to the formation of the military science squad known as Geo. Geo. Ugh. No relation to that time-traveling dumbass Kamen Rider. This stands for Xeno Invasion Outcutters because Japan loves their made-up names. So how does Ultraman X compare to its successors Orb and Jeed? Let's watch to find out. The heroes. Ultraman X harkens back to the original Ultraman, where our lead Ultraman, X, unites with one of the members of Geo. Daiichi Ozora, played by Kensuke Takahashi. Daiichi's parents were scientists who were studying the Spark Dolls and trying to find a way so that both man and monster can coexist without one hurting the other. Regrettably, Daiichi's parents are digitized and disappear during the Ultra Flare incident, leaving Daiichi to fend for himself. Oh, no parents. So he's your typical Toku hero. Gotcha! Due to his longing to continue his parents' research and his connection to his Spark Doll of Gamora, Daiichi finds himself partnered with X. X's body was destroyed 15 years prior, while his mind was trapped inside a digital world, which allows him to speak to Daiichi along with acting as their transformation device. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Some of you may recognize X's voice, as actor Yuichi Nakamura has voiced a plethora of Toku and anime characters such as BJ Stag and Go Busters, Shigure Soma in the new Fruits Basket adaptation, Hawks in My Hero Academia, Gray Fullbuster in Fairy Tail, Bruno Bakurati in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and Greed in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. 彼女の体重は 47.5 キロ。体脂肪率は 25.2。正確に教えてあげた方がいいんじゃないか? When merged, the duo can continue to use Daiichi's device in order to call up armored upgrade forms that are taken from various monsters or Ultramen. The first armor is taken from Gamora, which gives X Wolverine-like claws. We have one based around Ella King. Bemstar. Zeton. Zero's multiverse traveling armor. And let us not forget X's final form that he acquires halfway through the show via a sword called the X-Lugger. It forms his Exceed form, featuring another rainbow of death. The Japanese love their death rainbows. In addition to Daiichi, there are his Geo cohorts Asuna Yamase, Wataru Kazama, and Hayato Kishima. Akane Sekunoe's Asuna strives for world peace in order to be able to raise a family, she loves fashion, and seems to have a crush on Daiichi.
女の子が普通でいられない世界なんて間違ってるよ。だから私はおしゃれする。可愛い靴だって履いてやるんだ。
確かにこの星の女性種は複雑だな。
This 19-year-old is by far the most developed of Daiichi's team, as we really don't get to learn too much about Wataru and Hayato. We know Wataru was a rugby player at one point in his life before joining Geo, and that his younger brother strives to fulfill those shoes.
俺はずっと兄貴の背中を追ってラグビーやってきてる。俺にはそれしかなかった。だけど俺にはラグビー向いてないんだよ。
As for Hayato, all we really get to see of him outside of Gio is taking an interest in Wataru's childhood crush.
なんだあいつ。
あんな人だっけ、渡るくん。
What just happened?
Beyond that, Hayato doesn't really get any episodes to his name. Nevertheless, both Yoshihiko Hosoda and Ukio Matsumoto do a great job with their characters. Matsumoto would also go on to portray Kamen Rider Snipe in X8. The sad part about Hayato, though, is that even Gio's commander Shotaro Kamiki and Lieutenant Sayuri Tachibana get an episode to each of their names.
むーちゃん。
渡る、隼人、使います決定で偵察。大志と朝は警戒態勢を強化させろ。
We learn Kamiki chose his job as a soldier over his family, and his wife died while he was out on a mission, which caused a rift between he and his daughter.
家族よりも優先するべき仕事だって。頭では分かってるんだけど。
He then ends up missing his daughter's wedding due to saving the world.
What an asshole!
As for Tachibana, her daughters and husband moved to Canada since they have the lowest number of monster attacks in the world there. Yu Kamio and Sorara Sukafone portray these two.
敵の潜んでいる可能性のある場所にヒールの高い靴で行くなんて危機意識の欠如ね。
申し訳ありません。
Unfortunately, Hayato is not the only character in Gio to barely be touched upon, as their science trio barely do anything either. The lead scientist is an alien phantom known as Dr. Goramon, while his two assistants are Mamoru Mikazuki and Rui Takada.
博士ってば、私の新発明飲んじゃったんだよね。
知らん。
透明リキッドですよ。机の上に置いといたのに。
わしが飲んだんなら透明になってるはずだろ。
Dr. Goramon is voiced by anime superstar Yasunori Matsumoto.
最も近い三連構成ですら 6.4 光年だ。
Matsumoto has voiced John Havoc in Fullmetal Alchemist, Anubis in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Gory in Slayers, Ralph Bohmers in Silent Mobius, Etamon in Digimon, Hercules in the Kingdom Hearts Japanese dub, and many, many others. Oh, and both Hayato Harada and Haruka Momokawa play the assistants. Rui is the only one of the three who gets an episode plot revolving around her, which is where she crushes on Ultraman Zero.
ゼロ様。
ゼロ様超かっこいい。トサカも2本あるし、
トサカで。
素敵すぎる。
よせよ。
We do get to see her determination to help out when necessary, even if she can be quite airheaded at times. Now, that's not to say Dr. Goramon is nothing but a background character, as he isn't. It's just that I feel his potential was left untapped. He's the first member of Gio to learn that Daiichi is Ultraman X, and while it makes for a great joke at one point, there was so much more they could have done with this concept.
よし。さて、私たちは飯でも食いに行こう。ああ、いいからいいから。久しぶりにヨーグルトで一杯やって酔っ払うぞ。
Instead, Goramon sometimes feels like he is there for comedic relief or just to be the exposition dump. I do think this scene from the movie is my favorite of his, though.
グルマン博士。脅かしちゃダメだよ。
Their job is to pretty much research the Spark Dolls, find a way to communicate with them, while also using the technology of the Spark Dolls to enhance Gio's weaponry. Speaking of weaponry, they do have some vehicles. Instead of having a traditional set of ships, they have a device called Gio Moschetti that plugs into the team's everyday vehicles like a car and an SUV to form either a ship or a tank.
Plug it in, plug it in.
Finally, like with Orb and Jeed, several past Ultramen do make their appearance in this one. We've got Zero, Victory, Ginga, Max, and Nexus. All that's missing in order to have a complete set of post-2000s Ultras is Mabius. It is cool seeing these guys, especially since Ginga and Victory appear in the show's best episodes. The villains. Compared to Orb and Jeed, Ultraman X is more traditional in the way it does its villains, as most of the time it's a monster of the week or just a small mini-arc, as opposed to having a main villain throughout the entire show. Nevertheless, we do get a wide variety of monsters, most of which are returning favorites. Obviously, we have Gamora, who comes in multiple flavors. Zeton. And Bemstar. In addition, Tesco Chicken Face returns, who is pregnant, bringing in an interesting commentary about whether Geo should or should not just destroy monsters.
この姿でなら卵と一緒に生きられる親子で一緒に
人形だぞ。生きていると言えるのか。
Telesdon, Zarab, King Joe is back, kicking all kinds of ass. Along with Nako and Black King. And some nice callbacks to Ultra Q with Gomez. And the super intelligent M1.
私は M1 号かつて科学の力によって作られ捨てられた人工生命
I understood that reference.
Thankfully, X does feature some new creations that includes the Kaiju Menace Damaga, Gargorgon, who is the basis for the Gorgons in Greek mythology, this plant monster with the most deadliest attack ever.
いかんあれは地球人に一番効く攻撃だ
まさか
花粉だよ
And the incredible Griza. I love the way this monster moves because it really makes me think of lag in an online video game. It's just like so cool. There are some gang-like groups that appear, such as the Dark Cluster,
やっと見つけたぞサメクジラ
and the Gwar Army. Wrong type of Gwar. I guess this group has shown up in an Ultraman special or something decades ago. The effects and music. Just like with the other Ultra series at the time, the effects and music in Ultraman X are simply top notch. I don't really have too much to add that I haven't already said in my reviews for Orb and Jeet. Everything those shows excel in are because of this one. The miniatures are still impressive, debris flies around whenever monsters or ultras are pounded in the ground. We get to see car alarms going off from time to time during battle. The biggest detractor in the effects work continues to be the CGI, as it sometimes sticks out like a sore thumb, especially for the Geo Moschetti. Thankfully, there is so much happening on screen that the CGI is ignorable once you add in Takao Kanishi's energetic score into the mix. Kanishi does an incredible job of blending a variety of sounds together to form an ear-pleasing aesthetic.
グリーザー、あと9分20秒で基地に到達します。
My favorite track of the show easily goes to the one that is reminiscent to one found in Return of Ultraman. The opening theme, sung by Voyager, is excessively dynamic, amping you up for the 24-minute ride you are about to embark on. Or 2-hour ride if you binge the show like I do. Even their ending theme, Unite, Kimi to Tsunagaru Tamini, is superb. I love how both songs feature male and female singers, which I feel sets it apart from other Toku themes. The episodes. As I mentioned at the beginning of my villain section, this series is very traditional. Thus, outside of a mini arc here or there, it is quite episodic. This will probably sound like a sigh of relief to those who don't like continuous plots in their Ultra shows, while those that do are probably grumbling in disappointment. The good news is the episodes are all engaging, sucking you into their plots to the point that I completely forgot there wasn't much in the way of an ongoing story or whatnot. There are a lot of interesting topics to be found, such as racism, questioning the imprisoning of monsters,
それなのにこちらが正義で向こうが悪だと言い切れるでしょうか。どういう状況でなら怪獣を倒すことが正義と言えるのか。
to having an episode recorded as if it were a cops-like TV show.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Not to mention a batshit crazy episode that features aliens playing rugby. I can't say I hated a single episode of the show, with one slight exception since I don't count these as regular episodes. The show has 2 friggin' clip shows in it. Episodes 8 and 16 are just that, clip shows. In fact, the episode titles even say Series Recap, and the booklet this Blu-ray set includes just shows a picture of some of the cards featured in the show in place of an episode description. Unlike the clip shows found in Orb and Jeed, where it was a mixture of new footage with old footage, these are 100% clips. Now, each episode does show a few scenes from upcoming episodes at the tail end of the episode, but why would you care about that when you have the entire series at your disposal? I would have rather these 2 episodes have been absent from the set in order to allow more disc space to go to the rest of the episodes on the disc. There's just no reason to waste your time with them at all. They don't even provide you with new information either, making them pointless wastes of time. Furthermore, apparently there was a 25th episode that aired, which was another recap episode, and that isn't present on this set. So why was that one skipped and not the other 2? Well, whatever. Let's talk about my favorite episode, or rather, episodes, given that it is a 2-parter. They are titled Sword of Victory and the Shining Sky and the Land Beneath It. In this 2-parter, Gwar travels from Ginga's Earth to this one in order to conquer it, only to find it to be protected by another Ultraman.
しかし問題が一つ。この世界にも我々の邪魔をするウルトラマンが存在するということです。
They have captured Victory and bring him to this Earth, while also accidentally bringing along another officer from Ginga's world, Arisa Sugita.
人間がウルトラマンに変身するってこと？
人間っていうか地底人？
Anyway, hilarity ensues as Daiichi meets up with a restrained Victory, thinking he isn't able to speak properly given he is from an underground civilization.
地底人だから言葉が通じないか。私は地球人です。
Daiichi goes through some special training that, as with every Toku show, we mostly see a clip of him training and then being told he has completed it. Ginga makes his way to Daiichi's Earth, Daiichi acquires the X-Lugger, and a big fight occurs. It's a pretty badass pair of episodes, has a lot of great character moments on top of epic action scenes, and Gwar seems like a cool lot of villains. A shame this is really their only appearance in the show. Well, Gina Spector had actually shown up in the episode prior to this 2-parter, which did lead to this amazingly funny line from Rui. The movie. Ultraman X has a movie to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the franchise and the 20th anniversary of Tiga. And what a movie it is. Daiichi and Asuna investigate a distress call Geo picked up around the ruins of an ancient civilization. There, they run into an archaeologist, played by Ultraman Tiga's Takami Yoshimoto, who is also the daughter to Shin Hayata's actor in the original Ultraman series.
あなたが異常電波の通報をした？
はい、東都大学の玉木司です。
Her study of the area is brought to an abrupt end when treasure hunter celebrity Carlos Kurosaki blows up the entrance to a pyramid and plays Indiana Jones with a blue jewel. This awakens a giant monster who likes to play "The floor is made of lava." Other giant monsters are awakened. This leads into both Ultraman Tiga and the original 66 hero working together with X to save the world from this monstrosity. Things go awry as an army of Damagas appear across the planet. Thankfully, Max, Ginga, Victory, Nexus, and Zero show up to help the world while the first trio can focus on the main threat. This movie is hands down the best Ultraman movie I have watched to date, as it is well paced, well plotted, the acting is quite good, and the action is top notch. Just hearing the old Ultraman theme updated is a real treat. Hell, I should mention that watching this movie when it hit theaters in America in 2017 is what reignited my love for Ultraman and kickstarted the review spiral of Ultraman that I've been doing ever since. Lastly, X gets another new form.
You have failed this city.
The Blu-ray. So here we have the series with the movie, or the movie on its own if you just want to collect the movies. I've got to hand it to Mill Creek for giving us top-notch Blu-ray releases in such a short time span. Hell, this X release is almost flawless. The subs appear to be the same as they were when the show streamed on Crunchyroll. However, I can't say that with 100% certainty as I only watched it once on there. Thus, I don't remember if the inconsistent spelling of Telesdam was there, but in one episode they spelled Telesdam with an R instead of an L.
You get Teresudo!
While in the next, the name has an L in it again. It's very baffling, especially given that Tsuburaya's official English spelling is with an L, not an R. There were some misspellings every now and then, such as in one episode where matter was spelled with one T.
どういう状況でなら怪獣を倒すことが正義と言えるのか。
Mater? Yeah, like Terminator, but without the T.
Town being repeated twice in one sentence.
このままじゃ村がもっと大変なことになっちゃうんだ。
And Daiichi was misspelled in one line of the movie. There is also a missing sentence in the movie. There was only one case where the subs were mistimed, which was during the recap portion of episode 9. The subs are about 12 seconds behind the dialogue, which initially gave me a good scare as I was expecting the whole episode to be that way. Fortunately, that was not the case.
父さん、母さん。
ウルトラフレア。その時行方不明になったんだったな。いつも持ち歩いているのか。
そう、ゴモラ。
ウルトラマン X のザナゲーム構成には3つの粒子が含まれてて、
あの光線でパークドールズにしたのか。
Video looks great while the audio just sounds exceptional. Despite being a stereo soundtrack, there is a lot happening in those two channels, from dialogue to music and then all the various sound effects in use. I'm very impressed with the audio of this show. Finally, for those of you who like English dubs, I do want to tell you that the English dub for the Ultraman X movie that came out in theaters in 2017 is present on this disc. It's not very great, as everyone sounds like William Shatner.
It's moving southwest at 120 kilometers.
It's Zyborg.
I bet it's after the blue Jasper stone.
Why is that?
If the stone is destroyed, nothing will be able to stop that thing.
The studio that dubbed it wanted to keep the same mannerisms for spoken dialogue as they do in Japanese.
How many times must I remind everyone not to eat food on that desk?
Roger.
It just doesn't work when spoken into English. Nevertheless, it is a cool addition and should please some fans. In the end, Ultraman X was a really top-notch series. It delved into questions about racism, morals about attacking monsters, and all the characters were interesting on both sides of the spectrum. Not to mention that movie was so goddamn amazing. As such, I am giving Ultraman X a solid, well-justified, well-deserved 5 out of 5 grown-ups in spandex. Just like with Orb, this is modern Ultraman at its finest and a release that every Ultra fan should pick up without hesitation. Until next time, bye.